So I had, you know how like in older games you could like change the clock on your computer, on your game system, and it would like forward you in time. Like in Fable, you could get more rent money if you set it forward in time. Well, I picked up Fable 3 because we had been talking about it. Mm-hmm. And Fable 3, the mechanic is during gameplay. It's every 5 minutes of gameplay. So I did the old school thing of leaving the Xbox 360 on for the whole time. And I guess I'd accumulated like 8 million like gold. So it was a lot of money.
Okay.
Well, we had a short power short issue, and we had to like reset a bunch of our breakers. It turned the sucker off. So I was like, this is what it feels like to be like 10 years old again and trying to like, game the system.
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember being like, I don't know, like 14 maybe, playing Fable 2 and just being like, okay, you save here, you go back out, you go back to the settings, you change all the way to like 20 years in the future, you go back in, then you have to reverse it all back, and then you have to go back in. And it's like you load up with all this money and you're like, yep. And that's how you cheated the entire game. I just made like $1,000,000 in this game.
I gotta be honest, I've rarely ever done that in my games. Mm-hmm. Not because I've never thought of it, but because way back in Animal Crossing, Mr. Rossetti scared me straight, honestly.
That's fully fair.
Scared straight, Rossetti edition.
Fair.
Hello, friends. This is Marlo Bogus, and you're listening to Sins of the Father.
So when we left off, all of you narrowly escaped to the Met Guard, who fired on you, investigating the stained glass portal left by the masked figure. After traveling through the portal, you found yourselves in the abandoned Covingnell Manor, where it seemed as if considerable time had passed since you escaped. Your investigations brought you to the study of Rickett Covingnell, where a deadly trap had been left in the doorway, and the remnants of a battle were seen. Snooping around the room, you discovered a secret chamber in the bookshelf. Inside were the remnants of a corpse that met their grisly demise due to the large hole blasted through them, leaving remnants of corruption in the open wound. Alongside that, you found an ominous message etched into the wall with a black, ichor substance that was seemingly addressed to the party.
What is that?
It seems to be a dead body. And, well, a message. I'll find you, little light. Does that mean anything to you?
The monster definitely called us little lights, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. Did it call us little lights, or was it just Zephyr?
Both Zephyr and the monster have addressed the party as Little Light.
Okay.
Yvalia kind of like looks like a little, like her face kind of drops. Didn't the monster call us that?
I think so. What does this all mean?
I thought the betrayer killed the monster. Why is it saying that? And I think Yvalia's got this look on her face like a scared child. Like,
Oswin goes over towards the corpse and just kind of kneels down and just places a hand over it to try to see if he can recognize any information about it.
Be careful, Oswin.
I will. I've dealt with some of this energy before. Possibly.
He says, a little bit unsure, knowing that it's not quite the necromancy he's familiar with. He gives it a nudge with his spear/staff.
As your staff makes contact with the corpse, blood begins oozing out of the wounds on it.
Oswin gives a and kind of backs away from that. Are we able to see the face?
How the body is collapsed, you can't see the face.
Do you want me to turn it over?
I don't think I want to see that at all.
Do it.
Oswin looks directly at Rickett, gives a solemn nod, sticks the bladed end of his staff underneath the body, and then using it as a lever, kind of turns the body over.
You gingerly flip the body over and see the remnants of this corpse's armor were completely punched through, and the body has been rotting for a while. Almost all discernible features of its face have long since rotted away. Nix and Yvalia, are y'all still outside, or did you come in?
Yeah, I think we went ahead and stepped inside.
Yeah, I think if you evaluate in, I'm gonna kind of support her. I'm just standing next to her.
As you're staring at this corpse, you see its limbs begin twitching and writhing as more of that acidic ichor that you see etched on the wall begins seeping out of the corpse's chest. The hole begins filling up as more and more of this fluid oozes out. And then you see something begin taking shape as out of this wound begins to reveal a sickly, yellowed eye that takes up the entirety of the chest wound.
Like from our trip into the Feywild when we saw it in the... Damn it, that was not us. That was the trio of treasure hunters.
But we saw the eyes on the beast, the monster. Vartash shoots it. Just straight up. No.
That familiar blast of your pistol echoes out in the small chamber as you unload a shot into the eye and watch a gout of acid splatter across the floor.
Yeah, I think as soon as that shot goes off, you just hear Yvalia. It's dead! It's dead! It was supposed to be dead!
Oswin has fumbled backwards and is now kind of on his ass, as he was previously unfazed by the dead body, but the eye, the gunshot, you can't see any expression in his face, but his body language is showing that he is scared of that.
Yeah, Vartash has both hands on the gun, and his arms are locked, and he's just trembling a little bit with the smoke rising off the end of the pistol.
What the heck was that?
It was an eye. Like from the beast.
The seizing corpse begins rising to its feet as the joints in its ankles and knees lock while it uprights itself unnaturally. You can hear the creaking and snapping of bones being reset and moved after being dead for a while.
Rickett covers his ears. Shoot it again!
Oswin scrambles out of the way of the gun.
I'll just bang, 3 times.
It's rule number 2 of Zombieland. Double tap.
So Vartash, you fire a frantic volley of shots into this creature as it continues reanimating itself, each bullet tearing off chunks of flesh and armor. And with that, everyone roll initiative.
Great. Nope.
I just want you to know that Oswin is rolling initiative while next to Nix and basically holding onto her side, one end around her, the other on her shoulder, for stability.
Yay!
I definitely had my player sheet pulled up. What are you talking about?
Meanwhile, you're doing this, and she's holding one arm on Yvalia and trying to keep Yvalia calm because Yvalia's just panicking. I'm just
and it stands out with my my initiative roll as 4.
Right.
Oh no.
I don't
all
like
of you
this.
people panicking.
I'm already firing, so my initiative score of a dirty 20 also makes sense.
Listen, I'm not afraid of corpses, but
No fear. 1 fear.
No fear! 1 fear.
Rickett rolled a 3.
11.
10.
Vartash, you're up first.
Vartash raises his pistol toward it and flicks his other arm, and a little flying snake, Adelaide, flies off toward the creature, and I'm going to take a shot. That's not great. Hopefully it will hit this rotting corpse. 12?
That hits.
I was a little worried. Okay. 7 plus 6, 13 points of piercing damage.
As your bullet slams into this thing, you blast out another chunk of its shoulder, exposing the rotten bone underneath.
And then Adelaide will use its reaction to make a single attack against the enemy. That's going to be a 13 to hit. And it deals 3 points of piercing damage and 6 points of poison damage, if that matters.
And you see, as Vartash releases this shot, Adelaide darts towards the zombie and sinks her fangs into the fresh wound that he just created. You see dark poison seeping into the flesh of the creature, however, it doesn't seem to react to it very much. Vartash, you manage to dodge out of the way of the first swing, but as you're recovering, it brings its fists down on top of you, dealing 14 points of bludgeoning damage. Nyx, you're up.
So, seeing people all freaking out and panicking and being clutched on my legs, so I don't think I'm really moving very well. So, Nyx is just like looking at the situation around her going, okay, time to go and help and support everyone. And, kind of like gains a center, takes herself, get a calm, and then, Natiras Beletha. As she radiates this kind of naturey like aura around her for a second, and all of these petals just swirl around and then immediately burst forward, and they swirl towards Yvalia. They then swirl around Rickett, and then the friend covering my legs right now over here, Oswin.
I'm at your waist. I'm tall.
I mean, you're basically covering my entire body, but it's fine. And then covering over around you as everyone immediately gets bless. And she's going to bless her friends as
Bless.
everyone gets this like comforting of nature and knowing that they are safe and protected by the great sacred tree. And Nyx, as she is going to fight alongside you guys. And then, I guess I'm gonna stand here because I can't really move. I don't think I'm just gonna let Oswin hold on to me and be like, there, it's really okay, we're fine. We've got this. We can do it. Yep. And really, I think we should go help Vartash right now because I think he's getting hurt.
Yeah, Oswin's already on this.
Yeah, now all three of you guys have blessed.
Thank you.
Yes, all 3.
Don't worry, I'm on it. I can't take my turn yet, though.
That is the end of my turn, so it is your turn.
Awesome, I can act now. Vartash, no!
And Oswin will quickly let go of Nyx as Vartash is slashed, and he will run forward and try to grab hold of the zombie. That is a 14.
Despite its inhuman strength, Oswin manages to overpower this creature and lock it up, keeping it from doing anything for the moment.
Okay, so what Oswin's going to do is he's going to run forward, and as it's like attacking Vartash, he's trying to find his ground. Oswin will grab one of its arms, and twisting on his heel, he'll basically drag it away from Vartash. Oswin is just going to pull it away, then slam it into the wall away from Vartash, and he's kind of got his arm up against its throat and one of its arms, but the other arm's still free to slash and everything. Oswin is just going to try to hold it for now.
I've got it pinned. I don't know how long I can hold it though.
Yvalia, it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, Yvalia, she's like freaking out, right? And she's blessed. But she is so scarred and having Yvalia is not a coward under any means, but reliving this traumatic experience she had, only a couple years ago, it's not cool for her. So she does this thing that I don't think at this point we've let our listeners know that she can do, but she casts Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
Gonna blast them. So anyway, I started blasting. So yes, I don't know if this is gonna hit. 10.
You also get D4 extra.
Oh,
Blast.
blazed. Let me add that blazed.
Please.
13.
It hits.
Yeah. So she is like, I thought it was dead. What is it doing? Grabs her lute and just does this rock star strum on it. And you hear this it doesn't sound right. It sounds like something that shouldn't come out of her lute, but it does anyway. And this, you see this.
No.
You see this colored magic that she does not make. In fact, it looks a heck of a lot like someone else's magic. She learned it from someone else. And you see this tentacle sort of almost swim through the floor and come up and just slap the crap out of this zombie. Oh, let me dance. One.
Knew it. You cannot hype up an attack before you roll damage. It will always be a 1.
So it hits, it slaps, but it does this little
I slap.
So just to tell the listener, she took Spell Sniper, and so that's why. I won't reveal where she learned it from, but she took Spell Sniper.
I wonder.
If you listen to it, you'll know. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Bardic Inspiration. I'm gonna cast it on Vartash.
I get inspired.
All right, Rickett, it's your turn. What you got?
Sweet little baby boy
little
takes his wand out of its... Yeah, sweet little teenage boy. Takes his wand out of his holster and strikes down like he's conducting a band or an orchestra 3 times. And as he comes down on the down strike, a little ephemeral, crystal clear orb appears. And he says, Saketa! And then he forms an X over his chest and then breaks the X. And as he does, these 3 magic missiles fly towards that pinned zombie to hit it. First one deals 2 damage. Second one deals 4 damage. Third one deals 4 damage. So 4, 8, 10 damage total. And then after he does that, he sprints away for his dad's desk, and he goes to jump over it and slide across and take cover on the other side, but he jumps up and his boot comes down on some papers and he just slips and eats it, and he hits his shoulder on the corner of the table and just tumbles out of sight, and you just hear him say, I am okay.
Oh, good. I was worried. Okay, hold still.
Doesn't look good.
It did feel good.
You looked cool though. Ah.
You see a small teenage thumb come up over the lip of the table. Thanks. And with that thumb, I end my turn.
Whoa!
So you pulled this thing away from me now, so I'm not in melee combat with it? correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm gonna back up to the back end of this little secret passage. Yeah, I'm gonna back into the back of it and just raise my gun and take a shot. Ow. That's a misfire.
No, it's not, because you rolled a 16.
Oh. Well, okay then.
Important.
So that's a dirty 20 then.
Nice.
Heck yes. Thank you, Rickett. Yeah.
So it's not manipulation so much as Rickett has these dreams, and they're very like watercolor, very washed out like tones. You can't always tell what they are. But in this moment, he has seen this scene before. He has seen Vartash loading the pistol, shooting it while Oswin is grappling it. And even though it didn't make sense to him at the time, now those colors kind of crystallize. The lines and the crispness of like a human figure take shape. And he can say, oh yes, I know how this is going to go because I've seen this happen before. And so it doesn't misfire because it was never going to misfire.
Awesome. Okay, so that is 9 points of piercing. Yeah, I think I'll end there. And Adelaide just kind of comes and settles on his arm again.
You take another shred of this monster's flesh off with that attack. And then you hear the cracking and snapping of bones as the zombie's head wrenches around, twisting its neck unnaturally. It locks eyes with Oswin as you maintain this grapple, keeping the zombie successfully pinned.
Oh, its head just turned around like an owl.
Okay, I'm gonna use my new feature, I think. So as a bonus action, I'm going to activate my Saku pedals, which, hello to our listeners. Occam's awesome, and he has done some cool stuff for us, so stuff here.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
You got it.
For now. So Saku pedals, bonus action, and I can manifest up to 2 pedals of different things that they can do. Pedal 1 doesn't really benefit right here, but pedal 2 form that I have is going to be an aura of life-giving magic that's up to allies within 10 feet of me every turn that they start in combat. They can roll 1d4 hit points back. So I'm gonna activate that and get as close as I can without getting too close to the dead person. Basically stay within 10 feet away from him, so that Oswin is also in it, just in case. And then get close to Vartash. She's gonna be like, you know, I see Vartash, he's hurt, I'm gonna go to him. As she's activating this swirl of flowers all around her, as these petals just flourish and like glow on her side, and then swirl around her, and then start to kind of bring this like aura around her, as everything around her almost have this sense of like life, and everywhere she goes, everything is kind of almost healed, as if Nyx herself is life. And activating that as a bonus, and then Nyx is gonna cast Wither and Bloom, as right as she's like running by and is, you know, literally, you know, aura of life, and is all things that you could imagine of life. She looks at the undead and like Oswin next to him and is like, Winster Fas Flomir. And then immediately this like dark energy kind of pours out around them and like immediately grips onto the undead and just tries to like kind of wither it, as it also then pulls from that and into Oswin and kind of pulls life energy into him, as like all of these plants immediately grip around him and kind of bring life energy over to him, as she withers her target and then blooms all of life around her allies around her. Okay, that is 7 necrotic damage.
As Nyx casts this spell, you see the swirling druidic magic envelop her and lash out towards the monster, seeming to leech some of the life out of it, as in contrast, another part of her magic swirls out into Oswin, healing some of the wounds he's suffered. It's looking incredibly rough. Whatever dark magic is keeping this thing together is fading fast and beginning to lose hold. Its reactions seem to have even slowed down.
Yvalia, do you have any spells that, like, affect a creature's vitality or anything? Targeting light force, cold spells like that, you know.
And he's very much like trying to keep this thing steady, but it is, I imagine it's a little bit stronger than him at this point, and he's having trouble holding it at this now.
I can make lots of daggers.
Okay, that's one way of affecting vitality, not what I meant. Well, I guess I'll just try the old tried-and-true method then.
And Oswin is going to let go of the arm that he was holding for a while, because it's becoming a poor grip, and he's going to try to grab something else. But as he does this, he's going to take the staff at his side, turn it on its bladed edge, and he is going to shout,
Scream! Banshee Blade!
and he is going to try to carve it through the creature as this vapor-like mist begins to sheathe the end of his spear.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Flavor Town.
Oh no.
That is
forget
a
my
9
slap.
plus 4. So 13. Okay, cool. Also had a blast there somewhere.
Don't worry, guys. It's not supposed
So I am going to deal. I think that's right. Yep. 1d6 plus 2 damage. As he slams the blade through it and carves into it, he deals 7 slashing damage. As Oswin finishes the strike, he notices it's looking weak and he goes,
Okay, finish it off.
and backs away from it.
The corpse is going to take an attack of opportunity. It lashes out with its one good arm and hits Oswin square in the chest. The sound of the impact almost sounds like a gong ringing in the small room.
Oh, okay. That one.
Oswin like grasps his like ringing head, like
Okay. Caught me off guard.
he steadies himself, standing between everybody else in the party, and it 5 feet, 10 feet away from it, basically spear ready towards it.
Yvalia, roll a perception check, please.
I perceive 21.
You have the feeling that you're being watched. You turn around and don't see anyone standing in the door. But as you look up, you can see peeking out of the corner of the door, upside down, a Harlequin mask looking at you.
Look at me.
And a voice comes from it. Need help, love?
I think you see Yvalia stiffen up and do the like the Studio Ghibli like thing.
Yes.
And she turns around and like turns on her heel to look behind her with this look on her face like, oh heck.
You turn around and you don't see anyone standing there. And then there's this ever slight shift in your peripherals above you as you look up towards the corner of the doorway and you see peeking through the door in this very ornate but battle-scarred, how to describe it, Harlequin mask. And you notice on its cheek is that same symbol that's on your hand and your friend's, as it's just looking at you, twirling a knife in one hand. Need help, love?
Oh no.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Sins of the Father. I'm your Dungeon Daddy, Jackson Chandler. I won't keep you long, but I just want to remind you that we are on the path to hitting $500 a month on Patreon, which will allow us to provide our editors with a pay raise to say thank you for all the incredible effort they pour into making our shows shine. Don't forget to support us on iTunes. If you leave us a review, send us a copy of it to misconceptionspod@gmail.com to receive a free Sins of the Father decal. That's all for now, so let's jump into episode 5 of Sins of the Father, season 2.
She like holds up her hand.
Yeah. We could use some help.
She says that, points at her hand, then puts her hands over to her lute and turns, like, still smiling, like very plastered smile. I wish you listeners could see my face because it's a perfect face. Right? Plastered smile. She turns and looks back at the creature and strums her lute. This very like plunk sort of sound. She casts this plunk, and it goes to this, like, it starts to reverb, and as it does, it starts hitting this pitch that sounds sharp, if you would, pun intended. And she casts Cloud of Daggers right on top of this thing.
Okay, so there's a swirling mass of semi-translucent daggers spiraling in a death tornado around this zombie.
Daggernado. 12 dams.
12 dams.
If Oswin could make facial expressions, he would have the same plastered smile on his face right now, looking at like, oh, I would have been holding that.
And is that it for your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Rickett, it's your turn.
Okay. Can Rickett see this Harley Quinn mask wearing person?
Yes, you would notice the exchange between Yvalia and this new masked figure that has popped up in the doorway.
Okay. And a little bit of metagaming, but it's been a while since last we recorded.
Yes.
Exactly a month. We rolled to investigate this room and found everything that, like, could be found, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The only things of note were the secret alcove.
Yeah. And we found that.
Because, yeah,
that
you rolled
map.
like a stupidly high investigate score or something.
Of course I did.
But it was the map, the blueprint map, however you want to describe it, of Harville. And the secret alcove. As well as the slightly burnt mask. Vartash initially found that with that scorch mark on the ground of an explosion or some kind of flame.
Okay. Then, seeing the mass figure, seeing Yvalia cast her spell, and seeing everybody team up on this creature, Rickett kind of army crawls forward into the cubby hole, the leg hole of his father's desk, and like wiggles his hand out from underneath the desk, and says, "Ignim!" And he casts Firebolt at the creature from where he is. I rolled a 7, but let's see if the bless will help.
Let's see.
Okay, that's 4, so that's an 11.
That hits. It's
Hey! And I deal 6 damage.
Alright.
6 fire damage.
Odds or evens, Rickett?
Odds.
The zombie is now on fire.
Excellent.
It is a flaming zombie trying to engage in melee combat.
God.
Wait, that's terrifying.
That's great.
Anything else on your turn? If not, it will be Vartash's turn.
Yeah. Rickett screams and like his arm slips back underneath the desk. And I end my turn.
So now the zombie is on fire, and there is a
Yes.
cloud of daggers around it.
Correct.
Cool.
But you do get 1d4 HP back.
And you get a D4
yeah.
HP back
You gotta
from
roll
the
that
healing
for me.
Finger gun.
Saku petals.
Finger guns, listeners. Finger guns.
You can roll it.
The masked figure kind of just calls out, "You've got this."
Thanks. What?
You hear just this voice you don't know giving you moral encouragement.
Yvalia is like shrug emoji.
All right. Adelaide, go. And he fires off his snake. Yeah, that's what happens. That's how that works. Sure. Yeah. No.
Is it loaded in the barrel, wrapped around the bullet when you fire it?
I mean, that's dope, but no.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just gonna send
Spring loaded.
Adelaide forward at him. Adelaide rolled a 13.
Oh, that hits.
Excellent.
Does Adelaide have a health pool?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, she is the
For future.
she's a Beastmaster Ranger essentially, or Beastmaster Beast essentially.
Got it.
Okay. So 3 piercing damage and 7 poison damage.
2 fire damage
2 fire damage.
as this lightning quick flying snake flies out and attacks this zombie. Manages to hit what you would assume is a weak spot on this creature, as you see Adelaide lashing out and attacking over and over, hitting this monster as its form slowly starts to, you see it stiffen up as this ooze begins just gushing out in huge gouts and collapses to the floor as Adelaide just biting into it like an animal, just and then very quickly retreats back to Vartash, a little singed.
Yeah, he like
You have
catches
killed the monster.
Yay!
Vartash catches Adelaide on his arm and just kind of, I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that.
Yvalia immediately turns around and looks up at the figure that I assume is still there.
No.
What?
Where did they go?
Peeks head back out and it's like, is everything okay out here?
Hello? Are you still there?
There's a thud from Mr. Covingnell's nest as Rickett tries to stand up and hits his head on the desk. And then he comes up over. Where did they go?
I don't know, but I wish I could talk to them. They had the same mark that we have on the mask.
Maybe he's related to that terrorist from Harrowville, the one who attacked the lifts.
Oh.
And you hear noise from down the hallway as there's just this distant call to you. You might want to come see the boss.
The boss? In Harwell?
There's no response to that.
Oh.
I'm not used to talking to a random disembodied voice down the hall.
They were up on the, wall or the ceiling, so obviously they could, climb.
I'm used to talking to a disembodied voice in my head. Maybe not to a random disembodied voice down a hallway.
You have a disembodied voice in your head?
Well, not really
You
in
should
my head.
see someone about that.
Not really in my head, but more like he can talk to me. He's a tree. Immediately here's the tree. Yes, please talk to tree. Oh god, it's like
Yvalia gathers herself for a minute, and there's an obvious change from the way she was talking to the way that she is, because she kind of did a revert to 2 years ago. So she kind of breathes through it.
Well, we should, I don't know. I guess they're right. We should go see their boss, but, I think we need to check on our families, too.
Yeah, we should, check on your guys' families? You said you wanted to go to your home. It was closer? Where is that at?
It's on the way to Harwell, so it would be worth it to go.
Okay. Looks at the dead body. Is just I'm gonna use his druid craft and just kind of swarms a bunch of vines and flowers over it.
Hold on, Nix. I need to inspect it.
I don't like looking at it. It's kind of gross.
Is it still on fire?
I know, but I'm pretty sure it's dead now.
It is still on fire.
Not that it wasn't dead already.
DM. Oswin
Yes.
still has... Oh, wait, 1 second. I actually need to make a concentration check for the 1 damage I took.
Yes. I'm sure you'll
Okay,
succeed.
I passed. That's an 18. Actually, I think it's more.
Because I don't think it matters.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Your detect.
So he is using Detect Good and Evil right now. So he is looking through the threads of fate and seeing the meddlings of good and evil beings and outsiders, effectively, on the mortal fates. And I would like to try to make some sort of religion or investigation check on this, because this is, from what Oswin understands, I think, not a normal zombie.
Correct. I won't have you make a roll for this. It is very plain to see using your spell that this whatever has reanimated this creature is not any form of necromancy with which modern mages or spellcasters can channel. This is something ancient. This is old magic.
These magics affecting this body are beyond time, beyond the shadow of history, as far as I can tell. It's necrotic, but there's something else within it. I'm sorry I can't be more help.
I don't know what any of that means.
I have lots of questions.
I don't want to really touch it, but yeah.
The best I can describe is there's some sort of ancient proto-necromancy at work here. Something before necromancy evolved to the form that it is today.
Could I make a nature check involving the Fae and seeing if I know anything possibly related to anything with what I possibly know in this?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Vartash is fine.
Hi, I'm the girl from literally, the wilds, where time doesn't really work the normal way.
Marlo.
Hey, natural 20, That's
Odds or evens?
Me?
Odds or evens?
Odds or evens.
You know I'm gonna pick odd. Why you can give me the choice?
It finally comes to mind, and you remember as you hear stampeding movement coming down the hallway towards you at a rapid pace, that you have a Kruthic with you as it is charging towards you at full speed, sensing danger.
Cinnamon bun, wait!
So you have...
She bolts towards the door. To like holding both of her hands up.
Okay. You're... In the middle of all the serious discussion, Yvalia just darts over to the door. Wait! As you hear the skidding of... Because it's a Kruthic, it has those bladed appendages. Oh, yeah. As it comes to a halt, skidding, just that sound of wood ripping. As it stops, like, coasting into the doorway.
Good little, they. It's okay. I think we took care of it. Thank you for coming.
And she turns back around and she gives Cinnamon Bun a like a really hard, like if you did this to a dog it would be too hard, but because it's got this like chitinous shell, it's like a scratch, like she's using everything she's got to like scratch its head and to like, you know, love on it. It's a loving gesture.
On a chalkboard.
On a dog it and then she turns around and looks at everyone and says, I have questions, I need answers, and I hope that we can find them.
As everyone kind of directs their attention towards Yvalia, and you see just peeking over her, the illusion has dropped. It is just a Kruthic. Just like leaning up, almost you would say sniffing at the bottles that are still hanging from this doorway. End of episode.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I was hoping to do.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Next episode will be released on May 9th. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Sins of the Pod. If you weren't aware, we have a Discord channel for the Misconceptions Podcast Network where you can chat about your favorite shows and anything else nerdy with all of the crew and other friends of the show. We also launched a merch store where you can fulfill all of your Sins of the Father and Misconceptions needs, including but not limited to chibis of all the kids from Season 1 of Sins of the Father and a t-shirt with the logo of Sins of the Father. Just go to misconceptionspod.com to check out everything we have to offer. If you need to contact us, you can send us an email to misconceptionspod@gmail.com. Sins of the Father is only possible thanks to y'all, so we'd appreciate it if you would spread the word about our show if you enjoy it. If you're feeling especially generous, you can always donate to us through our Patreon page. However you decide to help, we greatly appreciate it. Sins of the Father is an actual play podcast using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition role-playing game by Wizards of the Coast. The Sins of the Father theme song was composed by Aaron Wharton. You can find more of his music at aaronwharton.net. Sins of the Father is a part of the Misconceptions Podcast Network. That about covers it for now, and as always, keep rolling crits.